education has been shaped by a variety of philosophical perspectives. Perennialism emphasizes timeless truths and classical knowledge, focusing on enduring ideas that have shaped society. Positivism values observable facts and scientific methods, advocating for measurable outcomes in learning. Behaviorism centers around observable behaviors, suggesting that learning is a response to external stimuli and reinforcement. In contrast, Essentialism is a teacher-centered philosophy that emphasizes academic rigor, structured learning, and mastery of essential knowledge and skills. Perennialism is a teacher-centered philosophy grounded in the belief that education should emphasize timeless truths and intellectual traditions that transcend historical epochs. According to Yuldashevna, ND, perennialist education revolves around rational thought, classical literature, and moral reasoning drawn from great works of Western civilization. Rooted in classical realism, the aim is to cultivate students' reasoning abilities and understanding of fundamental ethical and philosophical questions that remain relevant across generations. In the context of social studies, perennialism manifests through deep engagement with classical texts and moral inquiry. For example, students might analyze Plato's Republic, discuss Aristotle's concept of civic virtue, or explore Enlightenment thinkers like Locke and Rousseau. As noted by Fogelberg and Wang, 2023, this approach prioritizes enduring philosophical debates over contemporary social issues. Rather than discussing recent events, a perennialist social studies lesson might investigate the philosophical origins of constitutional democracy or ethical dilemmas in history through primary source readings. Based on the views of Swargiari, 2024, perennialist school management emphasizes formality, order, and academic rigor. School administrators following this model favor traditional structures, standardized curricula, subject-based departments, and formal classroom practices. For instance, curriculum planning may revolve around a set of core texts and moral instruction, while discipline policies emphasize respect for hierarchy, teacher authority, and intellectual decorum. On the other hand, positivism upholds that authentic knowledge is derived from sensory experience and scientific reasoning. Based on the philosophical foundations laid by Auguste Comte, positivism views education as a process of discovering objective truths through empirical observation and logical analysis. As explained by Kavgaolu, IND, based DNT, positivist education emphasizes the scientific method, data collection, and quantifiable outcomes, largely excluding subjective or speculative elements. In social studies, education, positivism encourages students to approach history, politics, and sociology with analytical precision. According to Kunju Muhammad and Tabash, 2024, social phenomena are investigated through statistical data, historical documents, and empirical comparisons. A positivist curriculum might involve analyzing voting trends through census data or using population statistics to understand migration patterns. Lessons are structured around testable facts, rather than philosophical debates or narrative exploration. From a management perspective, schools influenced by positivism rely on data-driven leadership, standardized testing, and quantitative metrics. As stated by Kabiles, 2024, school administrators using this approach evaluate teacher effectiveness and student achievement through measurable indicators such as test scores, attendance rates, and graduation data. For example, decisions about resource allocation, curriculum adoption, or teacher promotions may be grounded in statistical performance trends or predictive analytics. Meanwhile, behaviorism is a psychological and educational philosophy, asserting that learning occurs through observable changes in behavior due to environmental stimuli. According to Kabiles, 2024, behaviorism does not concern itself with internal thought processes. Rather, it focuses on how external reinforcement and punishment shape student responses. Rooted in the work of Pavlov, Watson, and Skinner, it treats learners as responsive to conditioning through controlled stimuli. As noted by Yuldashevna, ND, behaviorist practices in social studies classrooms often take the form of repetition, memorization, and clear stimulus-response patterns. For example, students may earn rewards for correctly identifying the causes of World War I, or memorizing the amendments of the U.S. Constitution. Teachers may implement behavior charts or classroom economies where students accumulate points for compliance or accuracy, fostering routine and factual recall over interpretation or analysis. In terms of school leadership, behaviorism informs various accountability and incentive systems, as described by F. Edition, ND. ECA. Administrators may use merit-based pay for teachers, token reward systems for students, and strict disciplinary codes to encourage desired behaviors. For instance, a school might implement PBIS, positive behavioral interventions and supports, to reinforce punctuality and proper conduct, or track student engagement through a color-coded monitoring system tied to behavioral goals. On the other hand, Essentialism is a teacher-centered philosophy that emphasizes academic rigor, structured learning, and mastery of essential knowledge and skills. According to Jayashila, ND, Essentialism focuses on preparing students for responsible citizenship by grounding them in traditional disciplines such as mathematics, science, literature, and history. Unlike perennialism, Essentialism is more aligned with societal needs and often aims to ensure that students can function effectively in modern economies and civic life. In social studies, education, essentialist approaches emphasize factual content, civic literacy, and historical knowledge. As noted by Fogelberg and Wong, 2023, this might involve students memorizing dates, learning about the structure of government, and studying historical timelines. For example, students may be required to recite the preamble to the Constitution, outline the 3 branches of government, or complete worksheets identifying the causes and effects of major wars. Lessons are often teacher-led, with a strong focus on textbooks and standardized assessments. Based on the views of Swargiari, 294, school management under Essentialism is defined by order, discipline, and adherence to academic standards. Administrators prioritize teacher authority and curriculum uniformity across grade levels. School routines are structured with clearly defined rules, traditional grading systems, and strict attendance policies. For instance, an essentialist principal may implement school-wide benchmarks in social studies and require common quarterly exams to ensure uniform learning outcomes across classrooms. Taken together, these educational philosophies offer diverse perspectives on how teaching, learning, and school management should be approached. Perennialism, positivism, and behaviorism provide structure, order, and empiricism, suiting environments that value tradition, accountability, and measurable results. Meanwhile, humanism, essentialism, and philosophies like constructivism and progressivism encourage creativity, critical thinking, and learner agency, essential for cultivating democratic citizenship and adaptive problem-solving in today's rapidly changing world. Understanding and integrating these philosophies allows educators and school leaders to create more balanced, responsive, and effective educational environments. By thoughtfully aligning philosophical beliefs with classroom practice and school governance, education can better serve both societal needs and individual development. Thank you for watching.